I need to buy a new saw blade, but in the interim, in between time, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna try this saw blade out again just to see. First, unplug the saw. Okay, unplugged, and then now we're gonna go through the. No. All right. So we are back in the shop, taking a look at cutting board, charcuterie board, how people want to name it. Here we go. So what I'm seeing right now, obviously, is these lines from the planer blades, or the planer blades that are not, that have been gouged from nails going through with not taken out of the board. So this is what's causing these little raised lines. Could be sanded out, obviously. The decision a crossroads that I'm at right now is whether or not to make this into yet another end grain board, cut them into slices and turn them and reglue it, or leave it as an edge grain and go with this pattern. My first thought is that I would actually use these offcuts from sawing it and actually use this as a long grain or edge grain board, and do the edge grain for this one. And now I'm saying it out loud, I think that's what I'm gonna do. So yeah, I'm not a wood expert or anything, so I don't know exactly what species this is. This part is very hard. It's actually but it's kind of pretty. But that's why I left this one on the outside, because I'm gonna have to cut this edge off because of this gouge. I don't feel like putting, filling it, trying to fill it with epoxy and all that mess. When I can just cut it off and just have, just be a little bit. It's not sacrificing that much size on the finished product. So that's what we'll be doing. I guess we'll be doing that next. All right, well, it's gonna be slow going with this dull ass saw blade. So I will spare y'all. It is working. It's just gonna take a while because this is the ghetto ass shop. This is the end result. And I have this little piece left over because it wasn't planned for this to use it as some kind of handle. Cut a curve into it, put it halfway, just a little offset from the rest of the main board. Maybe even cut it down a little bit, maybe cut it in half. But anyway, use it as somehow use it as kind of a handle of some sort. We'll see how that comes, if that comes to fruition, and if it does, how it comes to fruition. Brought it over to the patio table, set it up, got it pretty flat in my estimation. Shorted up on this side with playing cards, and so now it's giving me it's not doing any wobbling, so I'm pretty good. And also use the level to show that it's level pretty much from the front to back. So let me go get this plugged in. Uh-oh. Forgot to do a little. Got to tighten it up. Thankfully, this one is. Yeah, it's already. It's already at the lowest point it could be. So, all right. This is yeah. That's how things go. All right. Well, telling me the camera's too hot. So, but anyway, here's the end result. It is as flat as it's gonna get. Obviously, I gotta do the sides. Gotta cut off and trim some sides. I gotta do the sanding. Probably not gonna film that. That's just bzzz and bzzz and bzzz. So, you know. Okay, I said I wasn't gonna film the sanding process, but like I said, because it's pretty tedious. You know how to sand things. But basically, I'll give the rundown of what I'm gonna do. It's basically 80 grit, 120 grit, 180 grit, and 240. When I get to 180, what I've found, I can do 180, spritz it down, get the fibers to come up, go over it again once it's dried out, then up to 240, spritz it down, fibers, whatever's fuzzy, again, and then go back over it in 240. So it should end up with a pretty smooth product. Okay, so we're at the 180 grit stage, and I went ahead and squared up the edges as best I could using the joiner planer over there and the table saw. It's not perfect, but you know, these are happy accidents, as I like to call them. So yeah, so I'm gonna let this dry. I'm gonna go get something to eat. So here we are at the final stage of sanding. It is nice and smooth. Of course, there's still a lot of defects and things to repair, fix, as far as all these little cracks and voids and stuff, but that's what you get when you use reclaimed wood. So, you know, it's part of my process. So this is real interesting wood. I don't know. I'm sure somebody will know what it is and probably shouldn't be making cutting boards or charcuterie boards out of it. But it's if you can see there, it's kind of transparent. It's kind of cool. I think it's a cool little thing. This one, I'm thinking more of this would probably be more of geared towards charcuterie and display. But you know, like I said, it's smooth enough and hard enough, at least right now, that I can tell that it would be okay to use as a chopping block, or maybe just a little piece of art. Who knows? It's all good. But yeah, so here we are so far. Alrighty, so here we are. The void filling part of the build. I've already gone through and filled in most of the holes with my homemade wood putty using sawdust and some Titebond 3, some Star Bond in there also, very little though. So tomorrow go ahead and sand, do a final sanding to get everything level. So I think I have come up with how I want to do the handles for this. for this board. Essentially, we're going to attach this one and this one to the sides, since they are a little shorter. They'll give a little bit of, a little bit of extra surface area on this side. So this will be so there will be a little bit of a lip right there, and then it can be used as a handle to grab it. Thinking of tapping these in with dowels, a dowel like around here and here, to and then obviously on the other side, and then so it'll be another little design element, something. So I just realized that rounding over the edges, although it looks cool, it kind of changes my original plan of having these mounted sideways, because it's going to look kind of, in my eyes, it'll look kind of weird having this rounded edge. Having this rounded edge, just be rounded. But so I think what I'm going to do now is still go with the dowel, because I want to try those out, but just essentially stick these onto the sides, because with the rounded edges, they look more like actual handles, and that's just kind of weird geometric shape. So that's what I'm going to do. The dowels, or dowel a 3/8 and a 1/2 inch, because I didn't know what size I was going to use. Wound up going with 3/8 because I have a 3/8 inch drill bit right there. But then looking around in my toolbox, found a set of dowels already. So I went ahead and cut them out using the drill press, but I didn't film it. So I still have to cut the holes into the board itself, mark them out. It just so happens I actually do have a hole guide. Found another one, found it in my toolbox. So I already used it for one hole, and so let's do it for the next hole. This is right on time, actually. Get that on there straight. And let's see, this is left. Hopefully it lines up. Oh, 2 for 2. Alrighty, here we go. Pattern. It's different looking. It's different. It's not regular. All right. back at it. Mm-hmm. I really am going to have to invest in a big jug of mineral water, mineral oil. I feel like I should have some Barry White playing or something. Some sensual soul music for when you oil that thing down. Not a lot of rich, dark colors this time. It's okay though. It's all good. I like those. I like that right there. So we'll spread this out more once this gets absorbed enough to my satisfaction. Then, yeah, put the feet on.